Hey guys, good early afternoon. Today's Faith Over Fear Friday is going to come from James 4:6. I asked God, what do I give him today? And that is the number that popped in my head. So I thank you for that, Lord. And let me just get this part out of the way. He is writing to Jewish Christians from the 12 tribes of Israel who had been scattered due to persecution, likely dispersed after the martyrdom of Stephen, right? So he's seeking believers and he's going after pride, partiality toward the rich, self-reliance, striving and comparison, competition, worldliness, all the things, right? So let's just jump on into it. The verse reads this way: but he gives more grace. Therefore, he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Now, guys, you already know he was writing to believers, right? And he was just dealing with their inner conflict, as I mentioned, with the competition and pride and worldliness creeping in and all the things, right? So he says here that he's resisting, God is resisting the proud. And he's not saying that he hates those kind of people, right? He just hates that pride and whatnot, saying that he opposes self-sufficiency. Because, pride is always going to be like, hey, I'm tough, I got this, right? But when your humility, that's when it reaches out to God saying, I need you. I'm nothing without you. I can't do this. I'm nothing without you. So here's the part that speaks to fear today. Fear often pushes us into control, right? And control feeds pride. But humility releases control and receives grace. And that's what this verse is about. Sufficient grace. Okay. This sufficient grace is going to replace self-sufficiency. James says he gives more grace, not barely enough, not measured out carefully, right? But more. And that Greek word is cherish, if I'm pronouncing that right, charis, favor, kindness, strength that you didn't even earn, right? And the word for resist carries the idea of settling oneself against. God sets himself against pride, but he leans towards humility. And in a world that rewards self-promotion, humility feels so weak, guys, and we think we have to help that and lift ourselves and highlight ourselves and toot our own horn. But in the kingdom, humility is strength. That's what's more powerful. And he will show out for you when he sees where you do things in secret, right? Not letting the right hand know what the left hand's doing. Anyway, I don't want to run rabbits. It positions you to receive what fear cannot even manufacture, but grace, right? Grace. Woo. So today, if you feel pressure, if you feel like you have to hold everything together, lay it down. Humble your heart before the Lord. Grace meets you there every time. Every time. Faith over fear doesn't come from trying harder and harder and harder. We are still in a human flesh, right? But this temple, if we lean into God and present this temple to him, his grace is sufficient. And it comes from trusting deeper. So guys, with that said, I will see you next week. And always remember to partner with him. And have a beautiful weekend.